Creepy, interesting, a little weird, beautiful? Well, either way, what you just heard was the national anthem to a place they're calling Asgardia. And no, I'm not talking about the Marvel Comics Asgardia where Thor lives and Loki lives and, quote, the home of the gods. No, I'm talking about a physical space center or space ark, if you want to call it that they plan on building in space. It comes complete with its own set of rules, regulations, its own set of taxes, and it's even its own constitution. Yeah, kind of a bit much, if you ask me, and a bit creepy. But let me just take you straight to the source so you can see what I'm talking about. This is the website, and as you're going to see on there, the head of the nation, or president of Asgardia, if you want to call him that, is Dr. Eeyore Ashelbay, and he is a billionaire who is pouring all of his money into this space center. Now, you can see he even has his own dates on here. He's got August 28th, 0002. As an actual date, so he set his own calendar for it. And not only that, but if you look at this number, there are 268,402 residents so far who have signed onto this. Now, real quick, what I want to say about that is, considering those residents, considering the Space Center doesn't yet exist, it hasn't been created, I will say there are plans underway and they're pouring money and they're going forward with the idea. But in order to sign up to be a resident of this quote unquote country, you have to be willing to abide by the laws in their constitution, which I'm going to show you in a little bit is kind of more like a dictatorship. But you have to be a part of it. You have to be able to pay taxes and you have to be over 18 years of age, but pretty much anyone can sign up for this thing. And personally, I would never sign up after having read the Constitution, but it is intriguing nonetheless. But let me show you too, on their website, it comes complete as well with its own flag and its own coat of arms, and lots of symbolism in these things that you've got to be aware of. They even have their own Facebook page here, and this comes complete again with 294,553 followers following this one guy. So what exactly is involved in the Constitution of Asgardia? Well, let me take you straight to that document here. And as you can see, the Constitution of the Space Kingdom of Asgardia. For starters, it's documented that they want to rewrite the history of humanity and basically make it a little better. That's on page 2 where it says resolve differences, conflicts, and equality, and resolve those imperfections in human history. A little bit to me that hints that that's exactly what they're going to do, and that's not the only section in the document that talks about that, but that's not all. In order to be a citizen of Asgardia, you got to give up all your personal data. Now that's on page 8 of the report at the very top. Anyone over the age of 18 who agrees to Asgardia's Declaration of Unity and Constitution and consequently submits his or her digital profile to Asgardia's space database may become an Asgardia citizen. Keep in mind, Asgardia is probably not going to be ready for hundreds of years. Who knows? I think it's going to take a lot longer than the projection. So by the time these people who have signed up to be citizens are actual citizens, it could be their children's generation before they even have that opportunity. But meanwhile, let's just sign over all the data. Moving on to another part that was a little bit eerie is on page 13. Asgardia shall accumulate intellectual resources by digitizing and storing the wealth of human knowledge in space. Asgardia shall create and store in low Earth orbit and on celestial bodies a data bank of biological materials from the Earth. In other words, they're creating a human database and of all the, not only humankind database, but also a database of all the plants, species that are here on Earth, the soil and animals. So this kind of ARC database, if you want to call it that, DNA or DNA style ARC database. It's just interesting. All right, moving on a little bit further in the report, it also talks about on page chapter 6, page 18, it states this: Asgardia shall prohibit any propaganda of immoral and antisocial behavior and any production and circulation of information on any stored media which contains mass information that is harmful to morality and or aims to undermine or distinguish its supreme values. Any persecution for expression of views and convictions shall be prohibited, provided that such views do not contain propaganda of immorality, such to undermine or diminish the supreme values, threaten national security, incite violence and strife, demean the honor and dignity of individuals, disclose restricted information, and otherwise specified by requirements for ensuing informational security. And then it says at the bottom, it'll protect all the information of its citizens. So in other words, they're going to control the media. They're going to control the distribute of information, and they have control what gets put out. That's like China. China says what their media can and cannot put out. That's what Asgardia has done. So forget the freedom of press in Asgardia, because that will all be circulated and based off of their supreme values. Moving on to the next page, to ensure information is secure, the government regulates the circulation, here's an added bonus, of certain types of information, basis of the Constitution of Asgardia, and in accordance with procedures set by their laws. So, in other words, they will again control the media. They're going to control what is allowed to be put out by the media. That doesn't sound like anywhere I want to live, where they control everything. But to make matters worse and to add a little flame to the fire, scroll over to page 27 at the top there, where it says the head of the nation may dissolve the parliament. So you mean the president can dissolve, Congress? That's basically the same thing. So much for a democracy. How about a dictatorship that many of these people have signed up for? But lots of other things in that report. I'll leave it below if you guys want to check it out. So I guess the question is, would you sign up for something like that? Because I would not. A place that claims to be democratic but has a dictatorship where the head leader can take out the parliament, a place where it claims to be this utopia, but just might be a dystopian nightmare. We just don't know. A place that keeps all your data and information as a criteria to get on. A place in which you have to pay taxes. You have to pay taxes wherever you go. It is what it is. But a place where you also are monitored in the media for what you can and can't say, and you're subjected to a group of supreme values. Not necessarily laws. It didn't say, it said values. I don't know. That's a bit much, if you ask me. I don't want any more subjugation. Anyhow, I'd love to get your thoughts and concerns on that. Leave them below. And don't forget to check out my partner at NobleGoldInvestments.com. They're in the description box below, and get started with some kind of profile of gold and silver and precious metals. And NobleGoldInvestments.com can do that for you. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.
Listen. No Asgardia. You're not allowed to be a member. Do you listen? Listen, Linda. No Asgardia. Listen, Linda. No Asgardia.